So welcome to the September Zoom assembly. Today, since September is Suicide Prevention Month, we thought it would be a good time to sort of roll out our new Soul Shop emphasis and have a few of our Soul Shop trainers online just so you can see who they are. And then I've asked Bill Hawley, raise your hand, Bill, and Todd Young from Buffalo to lead the conversation. But other trainers that we have on that were just recently trained include Peggy Hotchkiss, Randy Belton, and Cheryl Sherman. And I think that's the only other ones on here right now. But we have 11 that were trained. So they're scattered around the state and available to do trainings in your communities. But I think, Todd, I will turn it over to you for an opening prayer, and then you and Bill can have the floor.
Okay, let us pray. Out of the depths we cry to you, merciful God, for your children who have died by suicide. Meet our confusion with your peace, our anger with forgiveness, our guilt with mercy, and our sorrow with consolation. Help us acknowledge the mystery that our lives are hid with Christ in you, whose compassion is over all whom you have made. Amen.
Amen.
Bill, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody from around Wyoming and apparently Wisconsin. Very nice. So I'll give you just the brief idea of what Soul Shop is all about. And it's simply this one-day workshop, and the broader movement, the Soul Shop movement, is designed with hope to equip faith leaders to minister to those who have been impacted by suicidal desperation. And one of the things, having worked in the suicide prevention arena in Wyoming for about 20 years now, one of the things that I particularly appreciate is that phrase, suicidal desperation. In other words, people get to a place where life is so difficult, so hard, that they're so desperate for some other life that the notion of I could enters their mind. I could take my own life with my own hand. Their life is that difficult, or their pain is that difficult. And so this idea of suicidal desperation and how we as faith leaders can minister to those folks with suicidal desperation, yes, in our congregations, but also more broadly, as Jesus taught us, in our communities. When we think about people who may be experiencing suicidal desperation, we're thinking about those, yes, with thoughts of suicide, or those who have acted upon those thoughts of suicide, either with suicide attempts or suicide behaviors, self-harm, risky behavior, and those kinds of things. We're also thinking about those, and I used to say most of us, but I now say all of us, all of us who have been affected by suicide because we've lost a family member or a friend or a colleague or a coworker or a community member to the tragic death of suicide. So for all of those different folks who may be experiencing suicidal thinking or suicide desperation, that's really what Soul Shop is about. And so that equipping is through a one-day workshop that Todd and I are doing, our first one on September 24th. September 24th, right, Todd? Not 25th? Yes. Thank you very much. 24th at St. Luke's Episcopal Church here in beautiful Buffalo. We're going to keep that small. We're limiting it to 20 people because I like to set ourselves up for success. So we've invited faith leaders from St. Luke's Episcopal. My congregation is St. Luke's Lutheran. And then we may have some others from the United Church of Christ. And Todd, possibly, correct me if I'm wrong, from the Methodist Church, specifically those working in the Stephen Ministries. Does that sound right?
That's about correct, yes. So, yeah.
And Soul Shop is one, simply this: let's talk about it. Let's have conversations about a topic that none of us really want to talk about. Let's get past the taboo-ness of mental health and suicide, because we know that when we talk about it and have open and honest conversations, that increases folks who may have thoughts of suicide, that increases their help-seeking behaviors. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say all of us in a ministry, we want to be seen as caregivers in our community, a place and people who, when folks are struggling, we can be called upon to serve. And serving from the Soul Shop outline, if you will, simply is you and I making a commitment that when we see someone struggling with thoughts of suicide, to ask that hard question. Sometimes when someone is dealing with as much as you're dealing with in your life, life seems hard. When life gets hard, sometimes people think about suicide. I'm your friend. I want to know, is that what you're thinking about right now? And the answer is almost always yes. And then what do we do with that? And so the model with Soul Shop is call. Many of you can identify with what a call to ministry is, right? So the C again is commitment. The A is ask. The L is listen. Simply listen. It's amazing that when we're just maybe even just having a bad day, I can call my friend Randy all the way across the state and say, "Hey, Randy, you got 8 minutes to talk?" When I'm really asking, do you have 8 minutes for me to talk and for you to listen? And then the last L is lead them to safety. And oftentimes, and I saw a couple names from the past, the Kettners and Lori, who have been through assist training with me, and I know Peggy and a few of the others of you have. But really, it's that model of how can we keep you safe from making a choice, a decision that, given other time and circumstance, you would not make for yourself. How can we create that pause in your desperation so that your thoughts don't become action? And that's the hope, folks. That's the hope in the Soul Shop workshop, and certainly in Assist, is that we can notice, see, and hear people when it's suicide thoughts before it becomes behavior. So that is very brief for me, for those of you who know me on this Zoom meeting today. As Bobby said before, 11 of us have made a commitment to the Episcopal Diocese of Wyoming to do at least 3 soul shops throughout the state in the next year. Am I getting that right, Bobby? If you shake your head, that's good enough. If you want to stay on mute.
Is it 3 or is it 2 the first year?
Yes.
It is 3. Okay, yes, 3.
Yeah. So again, and I will only speak for myself, I am retiring from my Johnson County, State of Wyoming Department of Health prevention manager job at the end of February after I turned 63, and I'm fully ready, willing, and able to travel to wherever to provide these Soul Shop workshops. I know that intervention matters. I've had participants throughout the 20 years of working in this field call me and say, "Hey, those skills that you shared with me gave me the courage and confidence to have a conversation, to ask a question, and then know what to do when the answer is yes." So that's my 4.5 cents worth. Todd, I'll toss the ball to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. I really, there's not a whole lot I can really add to what Bill said. And I think the Soul Shop program, I came into the suicide prevention game really late when I showed up at a meeting Bill led when I was first in Buffalo. But one of the two things from Soul Shop, one is it's a faith-based curriculum so that those of us in a variety of faith communities can relate to a lot of what is going on in there scripturally and pastorally. That plays a part. The other thing that I've noticed or I have felt with personally, and if it's me feeling this way, there's probably others feeling this way, is I have no formal education, no formal training about suicide prevention or what causes that or anything. So a lot of people might be thinking, who am I to be able to do this? And Soul Shop gives us an understanding that we are not training you to become therapists. We're not training you to become psychoanalysts. What we are training you to do is to notice the signs and be able to step up and offer a quick intervention, much like CPR, right? If you know CPR, you are not a heart surgeon, but you can make that quick step in to help save the life. And Soul Shop does that. And along with the recognition that, and something I've learned in doing this, it's really more than a mental health issue. There are a myriad of contributing factors to suicide. Be that a 15-year-old who just got dumped by his girlfriend, to somebody suffering with chronic pain and deciding that taking all of their pain meds at once would be a good alternative. So, and everything in between, right? So it kind of gives you that background, gives you a faith-based place to stand from and to come in and address and understand, no, you're not a therapist, but you can make, and as Bill alluded to, you can make an 8-minute intervention and talk to somebody. So that's my 2.5 cents worth. So I guess questions, comments, Bobby, you have anything? I don't know where we're going from here.
I guess I would like to turn to Randy, Peggy, Cheryl, if you've got just a specific, what you got from Soul Shop and how you hope to share that with your corner of the world, whatever that might be.
I think one thing that I took away was that this is not an either or for things like assist, and our community is very strong into sources of strength. It's an all and. They all have different audiences, they all have different purposes, but they all are valuable. And even if you take all three or all everybody there are, you learn something that can equip you to better help somebody with suicidal desperation.
It's increased my toolkit, being a prior QPR trainer, having had assists when I was in Iona, attending the VA moral injury discussions for chaplains, and now this. To me, it helps us be in better relationship with those folks that we are going to hopefully make contact with that are in states of desperation. And to me, it also removes or helps us to remove a wall about fear, that fear in these individuals' mind that are in that state of desperation about where they fit in God's kingdom because of what their thoughts might be or their desires to end their lives. Which to me is huge. And it just enriches or builds our ability, our toolkit in relationship and connecting with those individuals. It's not just limited to those with spiritual backgrounds. I see it just enriching our relationships, period, and being able to make connections with those folks.
When I left Casper, I was like flying home because I was so excited about having my suicide troubles being called something different from suicidal ideation. I could grasp hold of suicide desperation because that's what it was. All these things had built up. I didn't know what else to do. And I came flying back all happy, and I was talking to somebody about it, and they said, well, we've been using ideation forever, so why should we change? I'm like, you don't get it. So there's a lot of work that I needed to do, but there's also a lot of work. Since I'm a chaplain, people can talk to me, know that I'm not going to run off and talk to anybody. And I try to let everybody know that you can yell at me all you want, because that's my job, is to take the crap so you can talk good to other people and live your life. And I don't know, it's just so powerful. And I'm not having much luck at getting a program going on here, but I'm have some, maybe in Albuquerque and Denver. But if anybody needs help here in the state, let me know, because I'd love to come and be a part of something good.
And that is our plan for all of our team. We don't assume that Cheryl, all of your trainings are going to be held in Evanston, or that Randy's going to do Pinedale, or Peggy's going to stick to Saratoga. We want to deploy people out where the need is. And we've hopefully got you scattered enough around the state that it's a trip. But we are, from a diocesan standpoint, our commitment to Soul Shop is that the expenses of the Soul Shop trainer and the name Soul Shop will be hopefully covered expenses by the diocese. Just a little bit of info, I don't know, Bill, one of you, do you want to talk about what the day-long Soul Shop for Leaders program kind of looks like? What that involves, just in an overview?
I will try, and will seek support from my fellow trainers on the meeting today. So it is an 8 a.m. to 4:30 workshop. There's a morning session with breaks. Lunch is served at noon-ish, depending on where we are in the workshop, and then an afternoon session. Generally speaking, I would say that the morning session is suicide awareness for the most part, with an injection, a beautiful injection of suicide from scriptures, using some of those stories that we know. I'll start with the woman who was bleeding for years and years and years, and in her desperation had the thought of, if only I could touch the hem of Jesus' robe. And so that helps seeking behavior. And of course, there's others. There's the jailer who was convinced that everyone escaped the jail and was about to kill himself, when someone we know very well spoke up and said, "You are not alone. We are all here." And sometimes folks who are having suicide thoughts, they feel alone and they feel hopeless and helpless. And for us to be able to say, "You are not alone. I'm here. I'm here with you. I'll listen. I care. I'll support you. I'm not sure what to do next, but I'm not going anywhere." That's not to oversimplify, but that's oftentimes as simple as reaching in and supporting someone with thoughts of suicide can be. So I'll throw it out there to Randy and Peggy and Cheryl and Todd and whoever else to add to that.
Yeah, so our afternoon session rolls over, and you guys help me if I get off track, since I didn't study before this Zoom. But we focus on helping create soul-safe communities, starting with our church communities, and branching outward, because that's technically what we're all about. We're out there to walk in the world as Jesus did, and to be that cloak, that cover, that robe that people reach out and touch because they're in desperate need of help, and want someone to reach out a hand or throw a lifeline to grab for them to grab a hold of. So our afternoon focus spends a lot of time on creating what we call a soul-safe community, a place where people can come and feel safe and have a conversation and have someone that is willing to listen, because primarily that's mostly what they need, someone to listen and know that that individual cares. and we'll give them a hand. We'll reach out their hand and give them a little lift up, whatever that might be, or get them to more qualified support. So we spend a good part of the afternoon talking about that and creating that, and then identifying some additional resources, of course, that are available.
We also spent time role playing, which is similar to
Yes.
assist, but it's
Right.
not just academic learning, it's practical boots on the ground, because we don't want to turn people out and say, well, you learned this in Soul Shop, and said, but I have no idea what to do. You actually practice working with a person who is role playing, maybe not even role playing, maybe actually in suicidal desperation, and you practice how you would talk to that person and help that person and keep them safe.
And I gotta say, I agree with everybody with what you said, but I also pay attention to the little side stuff that, for me, helps ask questions as well. Like they gave us little fidgets, so I have that. Todd gave me his. I think anyway. I took it. It was placed next to me, so I took it, and the priest was there, whose name I friggin' can't remember, but I got to talk to him about how to read the Psalter. So when you come looking for information that you're going to get, as well as information you got to search out, for me, that kind of stuff is important. The little things that are talking starters. Like I go to a meeting and I'll say, so what do you carry in your pocket to remind you how to stay on your path? So, I like how, I really enjoyed the program, but I also enjoyed the other ideas of how to have relationship.
Yeah.
One of the
Thank-
very simple things that I think you've all alluded to, and Bill, you started with this, but if in our churches and in our communities, not just within our churches, but where we are hanging out and being, if it's comfortable for us to use the word suicide in a sentence, it gives other people permission to use suicide in a sentence. And if you can do that, you can save a life in Soul Shop's vernacular. So that's one of the really, I think, most powerful tools about it is normalizing the use of the term and not pussyfooting around and thinking, if I say, Randy, are you thinking about suicide? Randy's going to go think about suicide if he wasn't already. That's not the reality. The reality is that people want they want that opening, and they need that opening, and they need that directness. And we need to be comfortable enough with that conversation to engage, I think.
Bobby, I have a question though. Soul Shop markets itself as training for faith leaders. And I think that automatically limits the audience. And I'm really thinking that we could build a more soul safe community
We
if
can.
we included more people in our congregation, just people of faith. That's what
That's
we
how
need.
we've tried. You're right, Peggy. And I've had that argument with Michelle, that if we say faith leaders, that implies that the clergy and the vestry are the ones who need to be taking this course. And that isn't at all where I think in their idea, it was, we would train those people through the full day thing. And then we would do soul shop for congregations or soul shop for communities, the evening hour-and-a-half course. But I think we're much more in our world. We're much more into shared ministry. So I think,
Right.
I agree.
Especially when we are among the top in the nation for the suicide rate.
Mhm.
No,
So
right.
marketing it for all of us is a better. We're all faith leaders.
Now, we all also, and it would be something that we would bring out in one of these trainings as well, identifying 3 people that are our lifelines. If we are ever in the need, a desperate need for a lifeline, Bill and Bobby being two of my lifelines. So it also reinforces the fact that that people will know that they are not alone, that they always have someone that they can reach out to if they're at that point in their life that they are considering suicide.
Yeah. Randy, I'm so glad that you remembered that, because I was trying to remember the phrase, and it's circle of three. Who are our circle of three that are, to use some of the newer vernacular, who are our ride and die people, right? So that's awesome. And that's part of, as Randy said, building a soul safe community. And what Peggy said before, it's not either or, it's both and. It is, yes, sources of strength for so many school communities. It is assist for intervention skills. It is QPR for noticing skills, and it is Soul Shop as well. And I would completely agree with what's been said. Sometimes people shy away from thinking that they're a leader when they truly lead not with words but through actions, and those are our quiet caregivers that, in my opinion, those of us who may be seen as leaders, yes, in our faith communities, but and also in our communities as a whole, those are the ones that we seek out and empower, maybe not to be a leader, but to be someone's circle of three.
I've just been going through all the little places on the research list, and I came across the definition of Christian churches and all of that. And I got a hold of Christopher, because I'm not sure where you guys stand with it, but they did not include the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I know that even though a lot of folks don't think they're Christians, they consider themselves Christians, and they're not anywhere on any list that they have. So he said that I could get something together to put on the list so that they're not, because I would have a really hard time going to the bishops around here and saying, hey, you want to do this? And then them perhaps seeing that, oh, they're not really considered. So I'm doing that. If anybody's mad at me, I'm sorry.
I guess I didn't remember that they weren't that they weren't listed somewhere. So yeah, I agree, Cheryl. I mean, we all work closely.
We don't consider, our ministerial association in our valley doesn't consider them Christian because they do not ascribe to the Apostles' Creed. However, we do invite them to our meetings, and they participate in some of our ecumenical services. So we embrace all of them, even if they are not ascribing to the Apostles' Creed.
And why would we be angry with you, Cheryl? Don't feel that way. Why would we be angry with you?
Because
and
everybody's always
how
mad
I
at me.
go. I carry this to Cokeville because it's 98% Mormon, and we'll see how that works out. So
yeah, I told Christopher, I said, I'm 5 miles away from Utah, and my county is 95% Mormon, and so he said, I never really thought about it. So we'll write something, we'll add it on. I just I don't like the way my friends are dismissed.
well, yeah, don't make sure you don't carry that. We had under our suicide prevention coalition or task force that we have here in the county that I was part of, we had campfire or suicide campfire talks, basically, or campfire talks around suicide. And our Mormon community brought their youth to those campfire talks. So we're all human. We all have at some point in our life some form of desperation that we have to overcome. And so everyone is included.
And Bobby, I think you froze, or at least you look frozen.
I was pausing. I was looking at you thinking, oh, Bill's
Okay.
going to say something. I won't.
Well, what I was going to add, kind of as a transition as well, is that part of the concept of a soul safe congregation and community is, yes, soul shop for congregations, and the way I see that is that's where you grow participants to then come to the soul shop, quote unquote, for leaders 1-day workshop. But also what soul shop encourages then is for those who have gone through soul shop to identify 2, 3, 4, or 5 of those faith leaders to then make sure that they are assist trained, which again, I want to assume everyone knows what assist is. It's applied suicide intervention skills training. It's a 2-day pretty intensive training that teaches intervention skills, how to keep someone safe from making a choice, a decision that given other time and circumstance they would not make for themselves. And I don't know, Bobby, if this is a good time, but I can share some assist trainings that are happening
Sure.
around Wyoming that perhaps folks might be interested in. So next week, we're doing an assist in Powell, Wyoming on the 10th and 11th. I think there are 3 seats still available for that one. With such late notice, I don't have a lot of expectation that more people will be able to join that, but you never know, right? Also, I just put my email address in the chat. So if any of these assist trainings interest you and you might be able to make them, just send me an email and I'll connect you with the people to register. Let's see. So we're doing an assist training for the first time in Upton, Wyoming on October 9th and 10th. That one also has limited seats still available. So if you're interested in that, get with me after we're done. Felicia Smith, who many of us met at the Soul Shop Tea for Tea, she is hosting an assist training. Actually, you'll also remember Jason Nicholson, the Lutheran chaplain, Navy chaplain out of Powell. He and I are doing that in Douglas on the 13th and 14th of October. You probably don't need to know about Lewistown, Montana. Probably not. Butte. I'm doing 2 in Montana. Anyway, Peggy, I hope you know we have scheduled an assist training in Saratoga on the 10th and 11th. I'm not sure what the location is going to be, but that's a little ways away, working with Rachel and Tracy down in
10th and
Saratoga.
11th of what month, Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. November
Okay.
10th and 11th. That's a Monday and Tuesday. And then also in November on the 21st and 22nd, we're doing one in Casey, Wyoming at the Casey School. And then tentatively looking at an assist in Casper in January of 2026. So if you're interested in any of those, shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll connect you with
Douglas.
Is there a list of trainers, or could there be in the eSpirit or on the diocesan website?
Yes, that is a fabulous idea. We, Jeannie, are you on to talk about this eSpirit that we're doing?
I am on.
I mean, I knew you were on, but I wasn't sure how much you were paying attention.
I always pay attention. So I don't know, the eSpirit's already scheduled, but we have had the information on the website in the past, but it gets outdated so quickly, and I have struggled constantly to find where the most up-to-date consolidated information is to link it to. So any help with that would be great.
So I think we can do that, Douglas. And team. We do have an eSpirit coming out that talks about our new trainers. It's got the picture of all of you in your shirts.
Okay.
And I think it just says we have trainers from Evanston and Thermopolis and Saratoga and Pinedale and Buffalo and waiting to take your call kind of thing. But yes, if we could, we'll put it back on our website and give you some resources as we start doing the same thing Bill just did and reading off a list of assist trainings, I'd love to be able to have a list of scheduled, 4 months in advance schedules of Soul Shop in your neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. So we'll be working on that as we go forward. Good idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the picture that you're using, is it going to be the one where you're laying down by our feet, or are you just going to use a regular one?
Where I'm at your feet. No, it's a different one.
It's the one where she's laying at the feet. Oh, just joking.
So Bill, this is Jenny Kettner from Douglas. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What you said, the October 14 and 15? 13,
Let me-
14?
Let me look again really quickly. 13th and
And are you
14th.
gonna do it?
Let me look.
Just looking something up. Go ahead.
It's October 13th and 14th.
And are you doing it at our church?
It's at the hospital. Felicia Smith, are you familiar with Felicia at the hospital? She's the director of hospitality.
Yep.
Yes.
She is the organizer,
Okay.
and Jason and I will be down and we'll be doing that. She is limiting that class to 15 for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
And Felicia is one of our new Soul Shop trainers. She is one of them.
Okay.
Do you need me to connect you with Felicia, or are you guys good with that?
We're good.
I can call her.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
You betcha. Good to see you. It's been many years, I think, at this point.
Many years.
Um,
One of the things that we learned at Soul Shop, or that I learned, maybe everybody else already knew this, is that it is only Episcopal seminaries that require their clergy to be assist trained. I had assumed that all clergy in every denomination would be required to be assist trained, but I was told, no, it's us. We're special that way. So
not Methodist.
that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a commitment.
Oh, look, there's the first letter in the model call, commitment.
Commitment.
Is there a charge to it, and should people be told to apply for continuing ed?
For Soul
Assist.
Shop
No,
or
for
assist?
assist.
Assist, there is a charge.
Yep. I believe Felicia is asking for a $50 registration charge to cover the cost of the participant materials. And
Okay.
CEUs will definitely be available in a couple of different ways.
Okay, I'll
And
give her a
Soul
call.
Shop has a similar fee. It's $40 now, I think, per
Mhm.
person for the materials. So
Okay.
it's not a
I just
lot.
wondered. I
Yeah.
just wondered if you needed to apply for something. So, okay, thank you. I'm hanging up now. No, I'm not hanging up. I'm muting.
Hang on.
I have an I wonder. I'm wondering, should I reach out to the state hospital for their staff, for even to have a group for the patients? Because suicidal desperation is pretty big there. Not only staff, but patients as well. I probably shouldn't, but if somebody wanted to reach out, would that be a good idea? Something like that?
Sure. I mean, it's always good to invite whomever and ask them if the key is, are you interested in having a faith-based suicide prevention program, which has kind of barred us sometimes from schools, because schools have to be a little more QPR based, which is fine. I mean, again, like we said, there are certain models for certain niches and government entities, but we've had some conversations with the governor's mental health coalition to at least be appreciative of this model. So, but I think they like us doing what we're doing and hitting the population we're getting to. So, see where we go. We are going to do a Soul Shop mini a breakout session at Diocesan Convention. It'll be the morning of the 10th of October in Evanston, in Rollins. Surprise, Cheryl, you're doing convention now.
Oh boy.
In Rollins, Randy and Lynn Davenport will be leading that particular session. But again, they may reach out to some of the other trainers to help with that, depending on what the format is. But that'll be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Where's my head? That's that. Yeah, 11 o'clock Saturday morning. It'll be at the exhibit hall on the fairgrounds in Rollins. We are having the general convention thing is at the multiplex on the fairgrounds in Carbon County, which if you thought it was the Jeffrey Center, it used to be, but we have changed the venue 2 weeks ago. So make sure you're aware of where you're going when you get here.
I'm going to reach out to Bill right now and see if he's available that day. So he's so good.
He's so good.
Randy, I love you to death, brother. And on October 10th, I will be doing day 2 of Assist in beautiful Upton, Wyoming.
Oh. We'll have to get you out here out west with Assist too. I don't know what we need to do, but it always seems to be a struggle. But we'll have to get you out here as well. So
my availability increases greatly as of March 1st, 2026, brother.
okay.
We will get it figured out and we'll get her done.
Hey, Bobby, you mentioned change of venues. Is there going to be something coming out about that?
I think there has been something out. Jeannie,
Are you there?
it's on the website now at the right location.
All right.
And we will certainly be sending those registered specific, many more specific reminders about what you need to bring and where you're going when you get here and all of that. But yes, the Jeffrey Center, which was our venue, has a collapsed sewer line. And so your choice is a facility without water and sewer, or a big old place with lots of toilets and running water. And
Door number 2, Alex.
you think door number 2? Okay, I thought you would. Yeah, it'll be great.
Wyoming. We're tough.
It'll be great. And we can run over to the arena if we want and do pole bending, goat roping or something. So, all right. Any other questions for anyone? Our October date or October Zoom assembly will be October 2nd. Not yet sure what that will be. It may end up again being something related to convention as we're a week from convention at that point, but I don't remember what it is. Either that or Kara, were we going to do safeguarding?
Or else we could do, it's not too late for a stewardship drive and run through TENS and SALT and all the stewardship packets as well. That's an idea.
Oh, that might be a really good idea, Christy, because it's that time of year. So let's do that. Our October Zoom assembly will be the foundation talking about stewardship drives and how you can have a successful one in your local congregation. Thank you, Christy and Kara, for volunteering to do that program. And thank you again. This was a very large commitment on the part of these new Soul Shop trainers. They spent 1 full week in Casper, very immersed in all of this material. And it wasn't just 8-hour days for these folks. It was 8-hour days and then studying at night. So it was intensive. They need to now put that to work. And as Bill indicated, they are required to do 3 trainings in their first year as trainers to keep their certification as Soul Shop trainers. So we'll help promote that and help them promote that. But if you've got churches or organizations or interfaith groups, and I think Tom and Jenny, that's what Felicia was trying to hit, was helping hands. If you've got an interfaith group, you know, schedule one and have somebody come and train them. So without further ado, I'll leave you all to the rest of your lunch. And thank you. And again, hopefully you will have, during the month of September, you'll hold a suicide prevention liturgy that's available on the diocesan website. And I think the link is in your e-spirit that'll come out this week. So blessings to all of you, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.